Joining us in studio for Sports in Episode 3, it's Drew McGrath back again. Hey, Drew, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's up?
Not a lot. So we're going to talk about a little bit of sports today, but I feel like there's not a lot of sports, so we're going to branch off. But obviously, sports-wise in Western New York, the Bandits lost Game 2 to the Saskatchewan Rush the other night, hosting Game 3 in Buffalo on Saturday. I know that, obviously, lacrosse isn't nearly as big as, really any of the other sports. Nonetheless, winning a championship at home is kind of cool.
Oh, okay, yeah. So what is it? Just 3 games. You got to win 2 out of 3.
Yeah. So they won the first game, and then they lost to the Saskatchewan Rush. It was 11-10, and so now they come home and hope to clinch it, which would be their 3rd in a row.
That's an impressive feat. Not a lot of teams can go 3 in a row.
In any league, really. I mean, it is a big deal. I mean, even if you're talking, Little League Baseball, 3 in a row is a big deal. Especially when you got turnover and you got, contract disputes and what have you. Speaking of contracts and sticking with sports, you sent me something earlier that I did not have a chance to look at. The Bills pick is willing to work for peanuts, it said, or something along those lines.
Well, he was just saying that he's taking less money than. He doesn't really get a choice though, because the rookie scale is what it is.
Right.
But yeah, it's basically he's not really worried about the money. He'd rather win a championship and bring a championship here. So
be nice to see.
Yeah, it's good mentality, I guess.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, since the last time you were here, the Bills did officially release their schedule. No huge shocks.
No, I did think, though, that we were going to get a holiday game, though, and we didn't. So, no, that was the only difference.
But, I mean, five primetime games. If I remember correctly, we're only playing, 5 games at 1 o'clock. It seems like we play less 1 o'clock games every year.
Yeah, we have a couple. I think we have, 2 or 3 games in, either the 4 o'clock window as well.
Right.
So, yeah. Which is the major audience time.
Right. And then, of course, primetime games, at least 5, maybe 6, because that last game could be flexed. Well, the last game doesn't even have a time on it. It's to be determined.
Right, because those are either Saturday or Sunday, and basically, if it's going to matter. Right. Yeah.
I'm hoping it doesn't.
I don't think it will because we're playing the Jets.
Right.
So I don't think. The only thing it might do is cause a seed thing, right? But I don't think it's going to be worth enough to move it to a prime time. I'm
really hoping that we're resting everybody that game, but that's just me. Well, no, it's probably not just me. It's probably a lot of people who think of that.
Yeah.
So
there's been I've seen a bunch of people that are doing predictions, and they're thinking Buffalo's going to go in at least 13-4 or 14-3.
I saw something that said that the Bills are favored every game. Is that right?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened before?
Not that I know of. I think Kansas City did it one year. Yeah, possibly.
They go to the Super Bowl that year?
I don't know. They've been to the Super Bowl every year, basically.
Yeah. All right. Now, just before the show started, I mentioned you the lights on the casino are fixed. The cascading LED lights. They started to go out a few years ago, and it's been kind of a bugaboo for me because the casino, of course, makes millions upon millions of dollars, and I've always thought it was kind of janky that they didn't have their lights working. But now they're back up and working, and they look very cool. It has definitely transformed the night sky.
Okay.
So that's one new Niagara Falls thing. We got a new Chick-fil-A coming.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so what's your I sent you the thing about Pete Rose and this whole thing with being now that he's dead and now that he could be possibly voted into the Hall of Fame. What's your take?
I think he should be eligible.
Well, he is eligible. It's just now the senior committee.
That's my take. I think he should be eligible. Do I think he should be in? I really don't.
Okay, so I think he should be in because as a player, regardless of what he did as a manager, you're not voting him in as a manager. You're voting him in as a player.
I think, honestly.
And they're talking, well,
I think
baseball, to me, though, they're always saying about, stories and, how can you tell the story of baseball? Well, this guy leads the league in hits all time.
Right.
In all of Major League, in all of baseball.
Playing for the Cincinnati Reds, which is...
Cincinnati Reds, Philadelphia Phillies, and Montreal Expos he played for. And he played 5 different positions, and he was a 4-time All-Star or whatever like that. But it's just like, if you're going to say you want to be able to tell the story...
I get that. So
that's where it's like...
My reasoning is, I feel like, and this is unfair to him, but sometimes life is unfair, I feel like his window's up. You know, I feel like voting a player into the Hall of Fame from something they did, you know, what are we going, 20 years ago, it just, I don't know, it doesn't seem right to me. Because there, since then, have been so many other players that get overlooked every year. And I know, obviously, everybody can't get into the Hall of Fame, but I feel like in the amount of time since he left baseball, there have been more deserving players to get in.
Well,
so I just...
Baseball has 3 different committees.
Okay.
They have, like, the baseball writers, which is, like, the normal. Then they have another one, and then they have the senior committee.
Okay.
And senior committee, I think, is, like, you got to be at least 15 years off. Or done from playing,
right,
or whatever, to be eligible for that. So, yeah, so it's 3 different committees. I think football has the same thing. I think they have, like, a senior committee as well and everything like that. So
what committee votes in the Hall of Fame?
They all do. They all do, but it's just different years.
Gotcha.
So, like, the senior, so the one he would be eligible for to be on the ballot is the senior, which is 2027 in December. Now, if it's 16, you got to have 12, so you got a 75% vote. If he does get elected, he doesn't go in until 2028.
Gotcha.
So,
I don't know. I just feel like his time has passed. I feel like there's other people more deserving at this point.
Well, right, but there are players that are more deserving. But I'm
glad that they lifted the ban. I do think that they should have lifted the ban. I'm happy about that. But if it were a one-person vote, I would vote no.
See, but now it's also the thing is they were profiting off of him too at like special appearances and things like that. So it's kind of like and now with all these sports books and everything like that, to kind of like be like, okay, well, kind of like
I feel you
kicking yourself in the teeth in that aspect.
I feel you. Yeah. So my take is the ban being lifted is a good thing, but I don't know. I would still vote no.
Just to me though, the reasoning for it though, it was like, well, because these people are dead that they can't affect the game anymore. Like that was kind of a weird reason,
right?
And now it's like Joe Jackson was like he's been dead since like 1952 or 1953 or something like that.
Right.
But there was this ban this whole time, but he's been dead this whole time. So like. It just doesn't
fill me in because I don't remember. Why was Shoeless Joe banned?
It was called the Black Sox scandal.
All right.
Yeah.
The World
Series. The whole
Series.
White Sox, there was like 5 people or something like that, 5 or 6 guys that got banned for throwing the World Series.
Right. I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah. He was one of the guys.
Was it like 1919? Something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. All right.
And no, he was on the ballot twice.
Okay. And then they banned him?
So I don't know when he was banned, but he's been on the Hall of Fame ballot twice.
Interesting.
And he got 2 votes each time. And it was I think it was 1937 and 1947. So like, but I think one of the commissioners way after that did the ban. So,
before we move on from sports, is your question sports related?
I gave you the question last week.
We're just going to go every other week?
You were supposed to come up with a question.
I have one.
Okay.
I thought we were both doing one.
Yeah, so I did the one last week, but I never gave my answer. So my answer to that is, I would probably
remind people what the question was again.
Like, okay, so it was would you rather have a championship or be the superstar player and individual awards and the money and the acclaim and the fame? Personally, because a championship isn't guaranteed.
Show me the money.
Well, I would rather take the accolades because at least, I could have that chance to be in the Hall of Fame or whatever like that. And now that is lifetime.
Right.
A championship is lifetime as well, but, it's a ring where this would be a bust and everything like that, and it's a plaque and it's a whole ceremony and celebration of your career.
Gotcha. My question is not sports related, so I'm going to hold off for just a couple minutes. But sticking with sports and sticking with MVPs, if you will, the Bills' scheduled release. A lot of people thought it was brilliant. I thought it was okay.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. It was kind of funny, but I didn't think it was as good as years past.
The only thing that, to me, though, that was kind of the bummer part of the whole thing was
that he didn't say go Bills?
Well, no, that he just held up a piece of paper with the schedule.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was like,
yeah.
But he said go Josh Allen or something like that.
That was funny, but, yeah. I don't know. I thought it was, personally, I thought it was a little lackluster. But
probably could have did better. But they're probably going to wait till and make a big deal about it when the schedule comes out next year for the opening of the new stadium.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine that'd be a big deal.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we started to talk about local businesses, and I mentioned the new Chick-fil-A that's going to be on the Boulevard by Target.
Okay.
It's in the same. It's in the same plaza where there's a Starbucks and I broke you fix or you broke I, however that works.
Yeah, so that's over by
kind of across the street from Dunkin' Donuts. Kind of like kitty corner.
It's it's Factory Outlet.
Yeah.
Factory Outlet. Yeah.
So there's that. There's apparently going to be another new brewery on Fall Street. This just came out the other day in Business First.
Wow, okay.
So that's kind of cool. We got the new brewery on Military Road, which we have yet to go to. We got to get there. I've heard good things.
Okay, yeah. I haven't seen anything or anybody talk about it on Facebook or anything like that. But
yeah, so there's supposed to be a new brewery opening up on Old Fall Street, and I want to say it was this year. But who knows? There was, I don't know if you remember talking about this with me, there was supposed to be a brewery that was going to open up on Niagara Street, kind of across from the casino parking garage.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about
and that. They had a big press conference, all sorts of fanfare, and nothing. I don't know if that project just died or...
I think it died probably because the casino killed it.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be smart for them to do. I would think... personally, that the casino would want to have as many other businesses here as possible, just for other draws. And, we used to, somewhat regularly, especially for Bills games, go to Players, corner of Niagara and 3rd. And
Niagara and 4th.
Niagara and 4th, sorry.
Yeah.
And now, we were never late-night people there.
Right.
But I do know that the late-night crowd from Players, when Players closed, they went to the casino. And I don't know that those people would have just gone to the casino if it weren't for Players. So I would think that the casino would want other draws to get people close to the casino.
You would think, but also, too, though, a lot of the casino, is based off of drinking.
Sure.
So, if these people are at the brewery across the street,
right,
it's less money that they would be able to get from alcohol sales as well. So they're probably looking at it in that way.
Most people at the casino are drinking for free or close to it.
Right. Except for that one bar.
And if you're already drunk when you get to the casino, you're already making bad decisions.
Yeah.
They don't got to liquor you up first.
Yeah. So I think that might have had something to do with it, though. They were probably looking at it like that, and then also the traffic that it might cause on Niagara Street, and and because that area right around the casino, all those roads are really nice.
Yeah.
Because they take care of it.
Right.
So that's where all the money is.
Right.
So I don't know. It's no one. I don't think anybody's really going to find out, or that information is ever going to be really told.
Right.
So
it's kind of a shame. Because personally, I feel like we need more. This city's kind of a big deal. Drew and I go to the casino on occasion, and when we're there, we meet people from all over the world, and they come to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And, the casino is not the destination. Niagara Falls is the destination, and then once they're here, they end up at the casino.
Right.
So you would think that there would just be as many other options as possible. I've joked to you on a few occasions that, like, I wish there were more restaurants that didn't serve Indian food. Not that there's anything wrong with Indian food, but like 9.5 out of 10 restaurants in Niagara Falls are Indian buffets.
Yeah, it's a very huge culture.
Yeah,
it's
a very large part of the market for sure.
Right. Yeah. You know, there's changes that still need to be made and everything like that to definitely improve this area, but.
All right, so this isn't your question, but I have a question for you.
Okay.
On this note. So, you're going to open a bar and restaurant in Niagara Falls. What's your theme? What do you do? Do you have a theme?
I think I would just open just standard.
All right.
And then take suggestions.
Right.
Like after a certain amount of time.
I feel like we need a sports bar. I feel like we don't have like a genuine, legit sports bar.
Players is considered a sports bar.
Yeah. And I mean, they did have the OTB in there.
Yeah.
But I mean bigger, grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, nothing wrong with players.
Right.
But it was a small place.
Right. Now,
and I say was because is it open?
New place on military though.
David's 716 whatever.
Yeah.
It used to be David's Hoagie, and then it was David's. Anyway, yeah.
I think that's probably the new considered sports bar.
All right, and again, that's another place that we haven't been to. That's been on our list of places that we need to go, and love it. But that's Military Road.
Right.
I mean downtown. I mean here.
I don't know if it's sustainable downtown.
No?
Well, if you think about it,
you just think the casino takes all the money?
Well, yeah, right now. But also, even when I used to go out on 3rd, when all the bars were on 3rd and everything like that, there was a lot of issues and with behavior and people and everything.
Falls chicks, man.
But yeah, so I can see the.
I don't know if you guys could hear Drew's eyes rolling, but you may have been able to.
Yeah. So I don't know if the casino is really trying to have too much of that,
right?
Because now they might not so-called in quotes not want that crowd
right
coming in.
I gotcha.
So I think that's a huge issue as well that they're going to be against.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, though.
All right. So I do want to get to my question, though. And so it is an open-ended question, and it is not sports-related.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a hypothetical. You are having child.
I'm having a child?
You're having a child.
Okay.
Drew, you're going to be a dad. Congratulations.
Okay.
But there's a new law in New York State.
Okay.
You have to name your kid after a community in the region in which you live.
Oh.
So you're going to have a kid, boy or girl, doesn't matter, don't care. You got to name it after a city, town, or village in Western New York. You can think about it, and we'll come back.
Isn't there an area downtown Buffalo considered like Chelsea area?
I don't think there's a Chelsea district. Hold on. Buffalo does have Chelsea, Buffalo. No, there's a Chelsea in New York.
I knew that.
I don't think there's a Chelsea in Buffalo though.
Huh. Oh.
Buffalo neighborhoods. All right, let's see. Well, South Buffalo, that's a horrible name. Downtown, Allentown, Elmwood, East Aurora. Aurora's not a bad name.
I guess.
Williamsville. William's a great name.
No, it's not.
Springville. Hurdle. Orchard Park. 5 points. Black Rock, probably not a good name for a kid. Fillmore. Clarence. Hamburg.
Clarence is a name.
Yeah, if your kid is an angel. Hamburg. Parkside. Kenmore. Larkinville. Larkin was a pretty good last name. Could make a decent first name. Broadway. Fillmore. No. Grant. I got a nephew named Grant.
Lancaster. That's an
Old First Ward. That'd be a weird name.
Yeah.
This is my son, Old First Ward. University Heights. Gowanda. I've always felt like Gowanda sounds like a name of a sexually transmitted disease. Niagara. Tonawanda. And it just circles around from there. There are, of course, others. You got Wilson. You got Lockport. You got Medina. Medina could be a good name for a girl. Amherst. I don't think Amherst works. Depew. Only if your kid's a skunk.
Yeah.
Depew would work as a middle name. Peppy Depew.
Yeah. Yeah. That would. I think if it's a girl, it would probably have to be like Aurora.
All right. It's a Disney princess name.
For a boy, well, Allentown.
Sure.
So I guess if that's
Alan Joshua McGrath.
No. But I think
Alan Kelly McGrath.
No, definitely
Drew
not.
hates Jim Kelly, by the way. I don't know if that's ever come up, but we'll get into it another time.
Yeah, there's really not that many options, really. Like, if you really think
So here's mine, and it works for a boy or a girl. Lewiston. Lewiston. The whole thing. Lewiston. It's my son, Lewiston. I like it. I think it sounds like...
How would a girl, though?
I think it works either way.
I don't know.
Listeners, what do you think? Does Lewiston work for a name? For a boy and or for a girl? What would you do? What would you name? So, new law in New York State, you got to name your kid after a community nearby where you live. I don't know why it's a new law, but, there's always new stupid laws, and so I'm inventing this one. What would you name your kid? Drew's going with Aurora for a girl and Alan for a boy. Both very decent names. Kind of bland, though. I like Lewiston. Now, I'm 50, and my fiance cannot have kids, which is fine. I have 2 adult daughters. I don't want more kids. So I'm fine with never having a child named Lewiston. But if I had to have a child, had to name it after a Western New York community, I like Lewiston as a name.
Okay. Remind me to let her know that.
All right. If you ever see her again.
Yeah.
I might not let you ever see her again.
Right. That might be upcoming divorce.
Yeah. Yeah, Drew would tell her stories, and next thing you know, I'm homeless. So, all right, believe it or not, we're actually running. We're not out of time. We're headed in that direction. Were there things you wanted to talk about this week that we didn't get to yet?
No, I think when we were talking, it was just about we were gonna touch base with the Pete Rose thing.
Right.
But other than that, man, no. And honestly, for the next probably a few weeks, it's probably just gonna be just random.
Sure.
Because there's really not a lot going on, so.
Sports-wise, things are pretty quiet. Caps got bounced. That's kind of a shame. Leafs got bounced. That's kind of the norm.
Yeah.
The building, by the way, behind us, was talking to one of the guys that runs Rainbow Air today, and he was telling me that they were originally wanting to have it open by the end of this month, but red tape, politics, whatever, things taking longer than they expect. I think he said June 23rd now. They're looking at a soft open.
Okay.
But that's going to be really cool back there once it's done.
Yeah, when's the official open?
I don't know. Maybe July 1st?
Probably.
But, for those of you who are unaware, All Western New York Radio is located in the Niagara Business Center, which is the old Carborunda building. It's the corner of Buffalo Avenue and, what is that, 11th? 16th?
Atchison?
Yeah, Atchison, if you want. So on this side, it's Atchison. And behind the building, So a couple years ago, Rainbow Air bought the building, mainly because they wanted the property behind it. So the property behind the building, they built this huge building and a landing pad for the helicopter. But inside the building is supposed to be, they're going to have a helicopter in there. There's going to be like a museum. There's going to be a restaurant. There's going to be a gift shop. I'm really looking forward to it being open. And the guy from Rainbow Air, who I was talking to today, keeps offering to, like, show me around. And I'm always too busy. So today I was like, dude, you really got to show me around. So he's like, now I'm swamped. He's like, now we got to wait. So, but eventually I'll get in there, take some pictures, and post them to All West New York News. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be really cool. Yeah. My only concern, and I was concerned about this when they originally bought the building a couple years ago. No, the noise of the helicopter. So I do commercial narration for a living. I talk for a living. And I am mildly concerned that the sound of the helicopter is going to make my life hell. But
it could be difficult recording.
Yeah. But it's on the other side of the building. They're coming in from the river. They're never flying over the building, and they will never be out the windows behind me. So there's a decent amount of separation. And this room it's not soundproof, but it is sound treated.
Yeah, so you might be all right.
I'm hoping to be all right. If not, I'm just going to have to record everything when they're not flying helicopters, which basically is late at night, which is when I do most of my work anyway.
Right.
But, yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Could make the podcast difficult, though, if the helicopters are going up and down while I'm trying to interview people.
Oh, yeah, but we could always, have, special events or something, like every time it goes up or something like that, hey, yeah, we can make a game out of it.
We could. We certainly could. Yeah. All right. Drew, we're out of time.
All right.
Thanks for coming. We will see you again next week.
Yeah, definitely.
So now you got.
Well, next week is Memorial Day, and also the day after your wedding. Are we still?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. One thing I do know.
Sorry, ladies, he is off the market.
Well, yeah, I'm officially off the market. So my musical guest next week is Skyway. My main guest next week is Stefan Mihailu.
Oh, okay. I remember him.
And then we got you for sports, and then me talking about whatever. So I do know that the show is set. We just got to figure out when to get everything taken care of, because I'm probably not going to want to work the day after my wedding. I'm probably going to want to stay home and have the sex. I've waited this long. Now I feel like I deserve it. So
I'm not touching that.
Well, I mean, so I'm not married. So as a good Christian boy, I'm not having the sex. I've had sex twice in my life, which is why I have 2 kids, and I'm really looking forward to time number 3. I think Drew just choked on his tongue. All right. That's going to end the show for today. Well, not going to end the show, but it is going to end this portion of the show. When we come back, we're going to have Voyager, who won 7 All Western New York awards or something crazy stupid like that. But first, we're going to play a song. On the other side of the song, Voyager, and that'll do it for the show. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the question. So you got to name your kid after a Western New York community. What do you name it? Let us know via Twitter or Blue Sky or Threads or Facebook, or just email me or send up smoke signals, however you want to do it. Let us know. We'll be right back.